quick announcement for Sullivan and Company. We got some new merch here, guys. Finally have sweatshirts just in time for fall. This is a 50% cotton, 50% polyester, fleece-lined 9-ounce sweatshirt. So warm, cozy, comfortable, everything you need for fall. Of course, it's got the best-selling Sullivan & Co. logo, front, American flag on the side, on the sleeve, and then of course the dot matrix fade on the back. Here in New Hampshire, it is getting cold at night and during the day, and it is great to have a sweatshirt. You can never have too many sweatshirts, especially ones that fit well, like this one. Along that line of thought, boom, knew we had to do the long sleeve t-shirts. These are a dry blend, 50% cotton, 50% polyester, stretchy, comfortable fit, not too tight, not too loose, falls just right. Same thing, logo on the front, sleeve, back. Again, perfect for those fall days where it's a little too chilly to be in a short sleeve. Got the long sleeve for you guys. These are moisture wicking, super comfortable. I wear them everywhere, so you guys are gonna love them. Check them out now, sullivan-co.com. I've got a limited inventory of these right now, so get yours while they last. Appreciate you guys' support.
Nature. It's pretty neat.
A little bit of a different vibe than normal. Instead of working on one of my projects or one of my cars, I got a bunch of little stuff that's been kind of nagging at me on a bunch of them for weeks now. So I'm gonna try and knock all those things out. Up first, we got my 2018 F350 Super Duty. It's got the 6.7 liter diesel. I've got a mod / preventative maintenance thing on the bench here that I'd like to put in. So let's start with that. Skeeters. This is a updated crankcase ventilation filter, or CCV filter. And apparently on the 23 plus trucks, so the facelift trucks, they updated this design for the 6.7 liter diesel. And apparently all of the 6.7 liter diesels from 2011 to current have had a bunch of different iterations of this thing. And this is the best one, apparently. I've not noticed any symptoms of issues with my truck as far as the crankcase is concerned, or any issues at all, actually. My truck has been problem-free, as it should be. It's a 2018, and it mostly sits on the side of the garage and does nothing, which is why it has 30,000 miles on it, and it's 7 years old. But there are guys that have issues with the upper oil pan seal on these motors. If the crankcase filter becomes clogged, it can cause you to blow out that seal, and that's an expensive repair. So this is a common mod that guys will do, is the 23 plus updated design. It's no longer a replaceable filter, you just replace the whole unit itself. But apparently these have the best flow of any of the iterations of the CCV from the 6.7 liter diesel. And you can vent them to atmosphere. There's a whole bunch of aftermarket kits that will do that, but guys complain about, you know, the oil smell in the cab. Some guys run a tube all the way back to the rear axle, but then other studies have shown that if you do that, the pressure is actually greater than if you just put a factory piece in. So the consensus on the interweb seems to be that this is the best piece. So of course this is an OEM Ford part, and you know if it's an OEM Ford part, I got it from Mike over at Walls Ford Parts. He's got the best pricing on your OEM Ford Motorcraft stuff, which is quality stuff. And if you use my discount code, which I'll put up right here, you're gonna get a discount on shipping, and you're not gonna beat his prices. So if you need Ford stuff, hit up Mike, you're not gonna go wrong. All right, it's dark out now, so I don't know if we'll start tonight or maybe just tomorrow at this point. I got merch stuff to do in the meantime, but yeah, let's put in this CCV filter thing. And here's the other major specimen for this video. Also, yeah, you guessed it, we're gonna get started in the dark. Oh yeah, I forgot Ford gave us Super Duty guys a LED underhood light.
Something just crunched. It's definitely not good. You're at the absolute limit for this light with this hood.
Man, if I was going to be working on diesels a lot, I would definitely get one of those topside creeper things, but fortunately, I really don't work on this thing that much. See these three right here, this is your fuel filter assembly. I did that last oil change or the oil change before, but the truck only has 30,000 miles and it's already had fuel filters done at least once. But this box right here is the CCV filter, which connects to, what is that, the intake manifold over there. And then I think the other side of it connects to the valve cover. So I think to get it out, we might need to remove these fuel lines, potentially this charge pipe. I'm not sure. We're just gonna have to dive in and see what we gotta do. Alright, fuel filter's out, we're unhooked at the manifold. What I need to get to now is, of course you can't see them, there's two 10 mils way back there. Hence, there's one right next to it. So that'll be fun.
All right, those bolts were fun. 12 inches under the cowl. One of them is still on the ground. I think this is the last bolt. Hopefully the newer one is easier to put in because it's smaller. I don't know, wishful thinking. Already spilled diesel all over the driveway, because I thought it was a smart idea to put the filter up here with me, thinking I wouldn't knock it over. I did. One of those things that you're doing, and as you're doing it, you're like, this is a dumb idea. But you do it anyways, because you're too stubborn to change your ways. What's one more stain in the driveway, right? Alright, does this thing just lift out, or what's the deal? Just so. I am profusely bleeding, mixed in with diesel. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Oh, and there's oil right up to the top of that. Is that supposed to be like that?
Look at this. There's supposed to be oil right up to the, what is that, the valve cover, I guess? Alright, let's go look at the new one. Alright, well here they are. You see the new one is significantly smaller. It looks like it's gonna bolt right up though, hopefully. I don't know if there's a filter in this one that you can replace, if that was the whole idea, or what, but these ones are one-time use, but they supposedly do a better job. Alright, it's late, I'm kind of tired, I'm bleeding from more than one spot, there's diesel all over my driveway. Let's pop this thing back in, new one back in I should say, at least get everything connected, and then depending on how much these rear bolts fight me, we'll maybe wrap it up tomorrow. Thankfully, on these late nights in the garage, even though everything else might hurt, my feet do not. All right, guys, let's take a quick break from the action to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Brunt boots. If you guys are anything like me and you're out working on a concrete floor for 8, 10, 12 hours a day, you know that if you don't have the right pair of footwear on, your feet are gonna be hurting. Just like the old timers say, never cheap out on the things that separate you from this earth, and your footwear is one of them. You guys might remember about a year ago, I showed you this boot. This is the Brunt Oman, and I have worn this every single day for the last year. The reason I love this boot so much is, first of all, its comfort. It is more comfortable than any other boot I've ever worn, but second of all, watch this. slip on, slip off. These ones have seen some stuff. You guys have seen me wear these in the garage in every video for the last year. I mean, they are worn in, but there's no tears. They're still just as comfortable as the day I got them. So I found out that Brunt came out with this new boot, and you're not gonna believe what this one's called. Yep, the Sullivan. Had to have it, and I mean, it's a good looking boot to start. Like most of Brunt's boots, it's 100% waterproof. It's made of premium quality leather, sourced from steers here in the US. These guys are based right in Massachusetts, so love to support a local company that is based on giving the blue collar worker exactly what they need, which is comfortable footwear at a reasonable price. These things are slip resistant, they're electric rated. Let's try these puppies on. I feel like I'm gonna feel right at home in these boots. I also have their original Marauder boot, which I've also had for years, and it is so comfortable. Oh yeah, yeah, that is nice. Look at those babies. We're ready to go to work or turn necks at the local tavern. Oh, I'm just new boot goofing. So that's it, guys. If you want the most durable, the most comfortable boot on the market, you want the Brunts, use my code ChrisSullivan10 or scan the QR code. Get yourself a pair. You're gonna love them. If for whatever reason you don't, Brunt's got your back. Just send them back. They'll take care of you. All right, let's get back to the action. I'm wearing these out.
All right, in you go. A little bit easier going in there, I'd say. Just leaked everywhere.
All right, next day, next afternoon / evening, sun is already going down. Getting to be that time of year, seasonal depression setting in. It's gonna be dark at like 6:30, and then in another month it'll be dark at 4:30. Anyways, get a better look at it in the daylight. There is the updated CCV filter thing. Those bolts in the back were real fun, but we got it done. She's all bolted in there. I think what I'm gonna do first now is prime this fuel system a couple times, make sure there's no cracks in the fuel filter, the plastic fuel filter that I dropped from 5 feet onto the driveway and spilled diesel everywhere. And then if that's all good, we'll start this thing up, make sure there's no oil leaks or anything like that. You can see under the truck, I got a little pig mat down there because there was some leakage, which I assume is just from where it bolts onto the valve cover up there. Anyways, let's check for leaks. Why does it sound like there's a leak, but I don't hear one? Don't remember if that's normal or not. Maybe that's just air bleeding out of the system? I don't know. Let's do one more. Still hear that, but I don't see any leaks. I don't know, maybe that's just how this sounds. I've never really checked that before. I don't know, let's fire it up. What do we got? Not quite the Blue Angels, but great night for flying. Fire's right up. All right, that job's done. Let's move on to the next one. else showed up today? One day, ordered this yesterday. Gotta love FCP Euro. Not sponsored yet, but they're down in Connecticut, so they usually show up in one day, which is great for these European cars, including this one, which I am gonna fix eventually. Yes, phase 2, the SQ7 is back. If you guys have been following along, this is my wife's 2021 SQ7 with the legendary 4-liter V8 twin turbo direct injection VW/Audi engine. Same one that's in the Lamborghini Urus with, of course, a little bit of different tuning, but the bones are there. This thing's like 500 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque. It's a ton of fun. I flew one way down to Georgia, bought this thing, had all the options I wanted with the exception of the black optics package, which we added in the last video on this car. I bought it with just under 50,000 miles. It was like 49,700, and I hit 50,000 on the way home. We are at... Here's the dang trip. I don't know, you guys are gonna have to take my word for it. It's like just under 55,000 miles. Oh, there it is, 54,670. Now, I bought this thing at a sketchy Nissan dealership down in Georgia, and it had one of those oil change stickers on the windshield, so allegedly they changed the oil, but the oil changes on these cars apparently are kind of in-depth, so did they change the filter? Did they put the right oil in it? I don't know. And it's already been 5,000 miles. It's probably good to do an oil change on this thing. I probably should have done it a while ago. I got the goodies. Now I know what you're thinking. That is some weird looking Brotella. Why aren't you running Brotella in this thing? You run that and everything else. Well, I looked up what people run in these things and everyone was saying that you need it to meet the... There it is, VW 511, which basically I think means that it's safe for gasoline particulate engine filters, which apparently this thing has. Is that just a fancy way of saying the catalytic converters? Probably, I don't know. But this is an expensive car, it's an expensive motor. If you can't already tell on this channel, I don't really want to work on the wife's car that often because I have plenty of other stuff to keep me busy, including all the stuff outside. So what I'm getting at is I want to make sure that the oil is right, make sure this engine stays healthy, so I don't have to be working on it that much. So I went out and bought the expensive $50 a quart liquid moly 5W40 4110, whatever that is. Has that VW spec that we need. I think it takes 10 quarts. Also picked up a Wix filter on Rock Auto a few weeks ago, my last order. I've always wanted one of these. I mentioned it in the last video. This is an oil extractor I just got from Vivor Tools. I'm super excited to have one of these and to try it. But I've always done my oil changes the old-fashioned way. Jack up the car, crawl under, drain plug, drain out the oil, put it back in, lower the car down, and fill it back up with oil, which is fine, and we probably could do that on this. But a lot of people are getting into the oil extraction method because apparently you can get out just as much, if not more, oil. And you can do it all right from the top. I believe that's probably how they do it at the dealer. So I'm going to give it a shot. But as you will see, I think that it's kind of in depth getting to the oil filter, which is under the intake or something like that on this car. So I'm going to quit blabbing. Let's dive into this oil change. All this needs to come off. Well, here it is, a perfect example of what's called a hot V, meaning the turbos are in the valley of your V8. So here's bank 1, bank 2, you got 2 turbochargers. Who makes these? That symbol right there, is that Honeywell or Garrett? They usually make most of the OEM turbochargers, but look at these little guys. Just adorable. Get your wastegates right here. Oil feed and return probably. But yeah, you can see the turbo hot side is basically bolted right to the exhaust. So the heads are like backwards as to how like your traditional V8s would be. So it feeds directly out of the cylinder head into the turbos, keeps the air nice and hot, keeps the charge moving quickly. It's supposed to be very responsive, so not laggy, and you know, just a cool design, but it does make oil changes sometimes a little bit more difficult. We had to remove a whole bunch of stuff. This whole thing is like the air box. This is a little strut tower thing. Then you got your intakes there, but really just a couple minutes of work. Not too bad. So I should be able to remove this oil filter housing without any other pieces needing to come off. I think some of like the RS6, RS7, there might be like an oil feed line over here that you need to remove, but I don't know. This is a 2021 SQ7. I'm not seeing that. I should be able to get this oil filter out. And then there's like a fake dipstick over here. I already removed the plug because you get your oil level like a lot of German cars and a lot of modern cars by just checking the computer inside. Should be able to shove one of these correct attachments from my Vivor oil extractor down there and hopefully suck out about, I don't know, between 9 and 10 quarts, 8 quarts, depending on how much oil this thing has burned in the last 5,000 miles, or if it was even topped off when I got it. I don't even know. So we'll see how much comes out. Let's fire up this extractor. I've never used one before, but I'm just going to hook up my air and see what happens, and then get the filter changed, and we'll go from there. Guess that means that's about it. Also, if you don't want to listen to the air hose, you can just manually pump this thing, which is what I did at the end there, and this whole thing holds vacuum for a while and will continue to empty the oil without the annoying hiss of the pneumatic air hose. This is a 4-gallon extraction tank here, so I'd say it's about half full, which means there's probably about 2 gallons in there, which is just slightly less than what's going back in. There's probably, I don't know, 8 to 9 quarts in there. So I think what we're gonna do and what most people recommend doing is put in like 8.5 to 9 quarts and then check on the level on the computer. So let's put in some of this liquid gold. All right, well, that's 8.5-ish quarts of the good stuff back in. Got everything reassembled, airbox hooked back up, fresh oil filter in there. It was definitely time. This oil is dirty, so I'm glad that I did this. All right, so now there's no dipstick for us to check, so I think we have to start this thing, get it up to a certain temperature, and then we can check the oil level on the instrument cluster there, and then hopefully reset the service light as well. And this thing never gets old. Cold start. All good up here. Went in here, found the service menu. Oil level indicator available after approximately 2 minutes. Engine must be warm and turned off. So you want to make sure you have approximately the right amount of oil in there before you do this, because you don't want to start it up with no oil. All right, it's been about 15 minutes. We're in settings and service. Oil level is okay. Probably a little over 3/4 of the way up. I guess the vehicle doesn't need to be. Did it say vehicle must be off? I don't know. Let's try that. Engine must be warm and turned off. It is. Okay, so now the engine is off and it's not letting me do this. What's the deal? Maybe we need to drive this thing to get it warm enough? Who knows? All right. One thrash session later. What now? What say you now? Oil level is okay, but we're running. I don't know. Is that a type? Maybe we'll just add like another half a quart or something. Just get her up to max there. In the meantime, need to service intervals. Can we reset that? Yes. Nice. Okay, now the vehicle is off and I was able to get to the oil level menu. Looks like it's, again, same spot. So I think I'll add like a half to 3/4 of a quart and she should be topped off. Okay, Audi oil change, check, done. That wasn't too bad. That probably took an hour with me taking my time and using my new Vivor oil extractor. So I'm glad I did it. I feel like the dealership would have charged like $300-400 for this car, considering what you have to do to get to the filter. $100 for the best oil out there and a filter. I'm cool with that. So, and I think next time I do this, I could do it in probably a half hour. So good to know that the maintenance, at least oil change on this thing, are totally doable for your average DIY guy. Man, it is easy to forget how quick this thing is for a 5,000-pound SUV. Ooh, dirty camera screen, hold on. But yeah, she gets up and goes. We love this car. I haven't really driven it that much since I drove it up from Georgia. I basically handed over the keys to my wife, but she drives it every single day. I mean, we live in an area where everything is pretty close, so you don't even really need to go very far to go to the grocery store, go to the gym, do anything like that. And despite that, we've already put, like I said, 5,000 miles on this thing. So we're driving it a good amount, and it's been great. Paddle down. The whole front of the car lifts up. She's quick. Let's see if I can figure out this launch control thing. We're in dynamic. We hold the traction control button until everything goes off. And I think we hold the brake. Gas. Oh my God. I definitely did not get it to do that last time. You could hear it hold the RPMs and felt it built boost. This thing is violent. Woo! That was fun. Man, for a stock SUV, and people tune these things too. That's incredible. Not too shabby. This thing has no business being that fast. Man, I gotta drive this thing more often. What a fun car. I remember when I was looking into these things, everyone said they make such great dailies, and now I see it. They're comfortable, fast, luxurious. They get terrible fuel economy, but what do you want out of a 5,000 pound car with a V8 and 500 horsepower? So anyways, I think that's gonna do it for the SQ7 for now. Might have some other stuff planned for this thing, but for now, I gotta get back to the garage. We got a couple things to do to the Marauder. All right, quick project or task on the 04 Terminator Swap Marauder. If you guys remember from the dyno video, shortly after the dyno, the ABS and traction control and the brake light came on, which previously were not on. Even though I only had like 5 to 10 miles on the car, I wasn't sure what was going on. Maybe the ABS module went bad. I started looking on eBay for ABS modules. Then my mind kind of went to, what did we change? And you guys, a lot of you guys in the comments had the same thoughts, that maybe something in the tune has changed to the point that the ABS module is not communicating correctly with the ECU, or something is not happy. So I kind of want to see if maybe we flash one of the earlier tunes back in the car. If the ABS light goes off, that's a good indicator that it's something we can fix in the tune. If it doesn't, then maybe it's a mechanical problem or an electrical problem with the module itself. But let's not replace parts that we don't have to right now. So let's look into this a little bit. Check this out. Got a compare file open in HP tuners from the original tune that was in the car when I bought it to the one that my tuner did. And the difference I can find in traction control is right here, is basically disabling traction control. One of them, apparently if you put it to 0, disables traction control. So maybe that is what's causing the ECU to not be happy, or the ABS module, I don't know. Could try reflashing it and seeing if it goes away, but I doubt it, because my tuner reflashed it a bunch of times while he was making tune revisions and nothing changed. So maybe we just make that change to not disable traction control, and when we want to do, rolling burnouts, we just hit the little button here. Where is that button anyways? Oh, there it is. Right next to my adjustable pedals. Luxury. Look at me. I'm a tuner. I changed something. All right, quick fix-ish, I guess. I think we know that it's the ABS light is something in the tune. I guess we'll see if it comes back with some driving, but I don't think that it will, because I cleared the code that was there and it didn't come back. Whereas previously, if you cleared the ABS code, it would immediately come back, meaning there was a communication thing that was not happy there. So the fact that it's not come back tells me that we fixed this issue and that it's something to do with that traction control number. I'll discuss it with my tuner when that time comes, which might be in 2 days. So that will be in the next video. Hopefully dyno tune number 2 for the Terminator Swap Marauder. Smoked out the whole garage. Pig rich. thing definitely still needs some tuning work. At cold start, it basically doesn't run. It's so rich, like 8 to 9 to 1, just like pig rich. You can smell it. I thought it was just that time that we had it on the trailer, getting it off from the first time of the dyno. I thought maybe it was because I unhooked the battery or the battery died, that it was like relearning the fuel trims or whatever, but it's done that like 4 times now and I'm thinking it's only when it's like cold, as the cold weather moves in here, below a certain temperature when the car sits outside or when it's a little cooler in the garage, does not like to start and idle unless you hold the gas for a little while, and even then it's like chooching out smoke for a while. So still need some tuning work, which hopefully is coming up here soon, but ABS light is off, so I don't know what that is in HP tuners that whatever it is in that box there, it didn't like it. I don't know, we could always try reflashing it, but again, I mean, turning traction control off is not that hard to do, so if I don't have it permanently disabled in the tune, that's not a deal breaker for me. But right now, for the first time in a long time, 0 lights on the dash. Looking like a 30,000 mile Marauder should. So, one more little thing checked off the list. Also, totally forgot that this caliper was seized at the end of the last video. Now it is cooled to the touch after a 10-minute drive. So, resolved itself. This one's cool. Yeah, these are all good. Sometimes that happens too, you know? You get a caliper that's seized and then you get it scalding hot and it moves through that area and kind of breaks up whatever corrosion was there, and then it's fine. I ordered a new one. It actually came in yesterday, so we got it, but right now, seems good. So another problem, fixed. Didn't do anything. Whew, it is a chilly one this morning, but got my Sullivan Co. hoodie on, so I'm nice and toasty warm. Let me know what you guys think of this style video. A little bit more of a, you know, day-to-day stuff that sometimes happens around here that I don't always film, or most of the time don't film, but I figured you guys might want to see what it takes to keep a lot of these vehicles maintained that doesn't exactly need a full 45-minute to an hour long video. So not going to be an every week type of thing, obviously, but hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget, hoodies and long sleeve t-shirts are now on the website, so scoop those up while they're available. Thank you guys as always for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. I'm gonna go get started on whatever's next now. Catch you guys in the next one.